Hello and welcome to another string class rhythm session. So today we are doing semi-quavers or ticker-tickers and dotted semi-quaver patterns. So last time we were talking about dotted minims and dotted crotchets, and we're just going to recap some of those exercises just to get the idea of subdividing and keeping a steady beat and coordination things into our heads. So our first one was our minim or a two-woo, that if we add a dot to it, it ends up lasting 3 beats. So, and if we had a bar of 4/4 time, we're going to have, it will last 1, 2, 3 beats, and then we're going to fill up that last beat with a tar or a crotchet. Okay, so doing that with our feet, keeping the beat with our feet and clapping, but we can go straight into some body percussion. So let's say we put the 3 on our tummies and we put the tar on our nose. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, steady, off you go. Tummies, 1, 2, 3, tar, 3, E, tar, 3, E, tar, 3, E, tar. Okay, now we're going to grab our instruments. And last time I was talking to you about using left hand pizzicato as a way, so a simple way of putting our instruments would just be to keep the beat in our feet and do the rhythm with the bow. Okay, and then another way we were talking about was keeping the rhythm, keeping the beat with a left hand pizzicato on a high string and bowing on a lower string. So we'll just have a go at doing that first, and then I've got another one that makes it even more challenging. So let's get our pulse going first. So we're going to use a left hand pizzicato. I'm using my 4th finger because I like using this as an exercise to strengthen my 4th finger. If you want to go further up the instrument, if it feels more comfortable there, that's fine. Make sure you use one of your lower strings, because if you try and do your A and your E at the same time, it's a little bit tricky. Cellos, again, you can go up your instruments and pluck while you're doing this. So let's get a beat going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, steady, off we go. 3, E, tar, 3, E, tar, 3, E, tar. Okay, so now we can cross it over and we can put the rhythm into our left hand and we can keep the beat with our bow. So let's get our beat going. Tar, 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 ready, steady, off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And for some reason, I find putting the rhythm into my left hand harder. You might not. It might be easier for you that way around, but there we go. Okay, so that was our simplest one. A few exercises to recap. We're now going into our dotted crotchet. Let's just recap that one. So if I'm using the same beat pattern, our dotted crotchet and quaver pattern goes over 2 beats. So I'm going to do it twice so we fit it into our 4/4 bar. So, and here we need to start thinking in TTs. So we're subdividing the bars. So 1 and 2, oops, let's line it up. 1 and 2 and, so that comes on the end, 3 and 4 and. So we're lining up our quavers here. So we're thinking in quavers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and T, 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 at thinking in quavers we called subdivision. So we're subdividing this big beat, 2, 3, 4, into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and what that does is it allows us to line up the extra quaver. So we know that a dotted crotchet, and if this is all sort of a bit tricky for you, go back to the other video. We know that a dotted crotchet is the 3 quavers, 3 T's joined together to make 1.5 beats. Okay, and then to finish off the 2 beats we have the extra quaver on the end, so it goes 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and the rhythm that we use, the rhythm words we used that was tum ti tum ti. So we can do it just with our bodies, putting it into our feet. Let's go straight into some body percussion. So I'm going to use let's do something. Let's use cheeks. Go on, let's use cheeks and chest. Oh, I've already got red cheeks, but anyway, we'll have a go. Keep the beat in your feet. So ready, let's get our feet going. Ta, 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 ready, steady, off we go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, and we can do the rhythm tum, ti, tum, ti, tum, ti, tum, ti. Hope you feel as silly as I look. Okay, so that's our recap of that. Let's put it back onto our instruments. So go and get your instruments. Remember what we were saying is that so we can put the beat in our feet and just play the rhythm over the top, but we're challenging ourselves, and when we're doing rhythm exercises it is, you know, it's useful to do some other exercises. So I'm going to use a different finger this time. I'm going to try and strengthen my 3rd finger with my left hand pizzicato. We could choose a different string, so maybe actually I'll use an A string this time, because cellos you're probably using an A string and my notes against yours might be sounding a bit weird. So go on, let's see if we can do it. If you're not happy with that, just use an A string. If you're not E string, if you're not happy with plucking for this exercise, you can keep the beat in your feet. So I'm going to keep a pulse in my left hand, and I'm going to do this tum ti tum rhythm with my bow. So ta 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 ta, ready steady off we go. Tum ti tum ti tum ti tum ti tum ti tum ti tum ti. Okay. Now this is the way I find it really tricky, and I haven't practiced this, so let's see how this goes. We're going to keep the beat in our bow, and we're going to have a go at practicing plucking tum ti tum ti tum, but whilst doing it with our feet. To build this up, you could just practice with your feet and practice the pizzicato against your feet, but let's try doing it with the bow. So this time I'm going to do my G string and I'm going to pluck my E string. So let's get the beat going in our bows. Ta 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 ta, ready steady off we go. Tum ti tum ti tum ti tum. Okay, should have practiced that, shouldn't I? It's hard. I found as I was going through it, I found that actually keeping the bow, doing real legato on the bow, not trying to lift it, helped me settle that one a bit better. So if you're really flying with all these rhythm exercises, find different ways of challenging your brain to doing it in 20 million different ways on your instrument, that when you put it into a sort of more normal context, it's really, really easy. Okay, so that's the recap of that. So now we're moving on to further. I'm going to leave the word subdivision. Let's maybe put it in big. Whoops. So if you're ever in an orchestra, subdivide. When somebody says subdivide. What it means is that when we're thinking in our big beats, we're then breaking them down. We've broken that down into TTs, T, 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 T. And now what we're going to do is we're going to break them down into semi-quavers or ticka-tickas. Now semi-quavers are nice because the word actually reflects the sounds that we make. Semi-quaver, 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 semi-quaver. So you might not want to use the rhythm words that I'm using. Ticka, 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 ticka. I know some people use tiri, 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 tiri. So, you know, use the language that you're used to using. So let's just get that subdivision going in our bodies first. So a crotchet or a tar, it can be filled up by 4 semiquavers. Normally you should draw the dots first. Sorry, I've turned those into total lollipops. Oh my goodness, Mary, I'm so sorry. Don't copy this. All that hard work she does in theory classes, and Jenny. Oh, right. That looks a bit neater. Okay. So inside our 1 crotchet beat, we've got 4 semiquavers. So we're going to put the beat in our feet, and we're just going to, and when you're doing semiquavers, we don't want this. Use your wrist just to tap it out. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready, steady, off we go. Semiquaver, 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 sem. And try it slightly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tick it, 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 tick it. And we could make the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. So what we were doing before, when we had a slightly bigger one for the first of every group of 4, and then if we're thinking slightly bigger than that, we're going to have bigger one for the first of every 4 beats of the bar. So we have like a strong beat at the big of the bar if we're thinking in 4/4. It just gives it a little bit more excitement. So that's putting it onto our body. If we wanted to do, we could do other places. That's always a good one. Tummies, bottoms. Yep, we could put it anywhere on our bodies if we wanted to do some body percussion, and we're going to be doing some more of that later on. Okay, so we are now dividing each beat of the bar into 4. Instead of 2, 1 and 2 as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 1 and it just gives it that bit more, a bit of a zhizh. Okay, so putting it onto our instruments. It's the same with clapping as playing. We don't want big splashy semiquavers, okay? Probably go to the balance point of your bow. Remember, if you're unsure where it is. Challenge yourself every time you pick up, not every time, but every time you practice, just can you pick up your bow from flat and get it to balance. Just having that as a subconscious, I know where my balance point is. I know where my bow will, and my whole body will feel nice and relaxed. So check, loose bow hold. So feet grounded on the floor, knees relaxed. I'm going to do it on the A string. You can do whatever string you feel comfortable and most balanced. Notice that my hand's up near the top of the violin just so I'm feeling relaxed. And I'm going to go. So I'm putting a tiny dig on the first of every 4. My hand is nice and loose. It's not much effort. I could keep doing this all day. It feels a bit like a pendulum. So 3 and 4 and. And if I'm going to do it in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Now I'm doing it at the balance point just because that's where you'll have the minimum movement, minimum effort. Sometimes in sort of more sort of flowy piece of music where you have these very sort of legato semiquavers, you may be wanting to do them more at the singing point. And there it's sort of more your forearm is doing them and the rest of the arm floats. So you can experiment with where you want to do them. At the moment I'm doing quite energetic, rhythmic, sort of kicky. semiquavers. That's probably the best place to start learning them. Sometimes we see semiquavers, we think fast, and everything goes, ooh, but shoulders down, neck relaxed, breathing. We could even practice our breathing with this one. So breathe in for 4, and then we're going to breathe out for 4 while we do 4 beats of semiquavers. So 2, 3, and out. And in. And out. And in. And out. And in. So I challenge you to add some breathing to your semiquaver passages that you do. So if semiquavers are struggling with them, you need to look at how much bow you're using, how tense your arm is and everything. So we've got that idea of semiquavers. I wasn't getting my feet moving at the same time. We can add that in. And yeah, let's do that together. So let's get our feet going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready, steady, off we go. Semiquaver, So experiment with tilting the bow as well. So normally we use the outside edge of our bow. That gives us a very lyrical sound. Sometimes if you flatten the bow for an effect like that, you get sort of edgier sound, and you know that's perfectly valid if that's what you'd like to do with that. But just make sure everything is nice and loose. So we have subdivided our semiquavers, but we have not put it into the left hand. So now I challenge you. I'd have to practice it. Quaver, semi-quaver, I think that's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky to put that into our left hand. So we're just going to have to keep the beat in our left hand, and then we'll put the semiquavers in our right hand. So let's get our left hand pizzicato going. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready, steady, off we go. Semiquaver, 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 so there we go. We have subdivided our beat on our bodies and on our instruments. So hopefully your brain in the subconscious is now going tick, 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 and it's like a little engine driving, so that when we start looking at something that looks like this, so we have a quaver. So let's imagine we have 2 quavers first, a T. And we split it down the middle, and each T or each quaver is made up by 2 semiquavers. Okay, now remember the rule: if we add a dot, we add half again. So half of a quaver is a semiquaver, okay, and we need to add it on. So I'm going to draw this again. So at the moment this is going to look a bit confusing. So one of these is 2 semiquavers. We need to add a dot, which means we need to add half again. So half of a quaver is a semiquaver. So now we're moving this line and we're adding it into the mix. So we get 3 semiquavers, and then this one, poor thing, is left out here on its own, and we need to make this work and add up to 1 beat. We need to turn that into a semiquaver. So we now have a dotted quaver and a semiquaver pattern, and the whole of this sort of thing adds up to 1 crotchet beat. So our dotted crotchet and quaver added up to 2 beats, our dotted minim and crotchet added up to 3 beats. This is now halving again, so this is filling 1 beat. So all of this business goes on within a tar beat. Okay, so let me just draw that a little bit more carefully so that it makes more sense. So that's our dotted quaver. and a semiquaver. And if the way we want to think about it is 1, 2, 3 semiquavers all tied together, and then this last one on the end still links up with this one. Yeah. Okay, so it goes, if we slow it down, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm dividing the beat into 4, so those 1, 2, 3 are not beats. So if I think about them as ticker tickers, so it would be ticker 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 tick. So I'm clapping on ticker ticker tick. And so when we're using rhythm words, we turn this into a tim, cur. So with the tum T, the T at the end is the same rhythm name for the T. For timker, the ticker ticker, the cur of the last bit of the semiquaver is still the same. But we turn this into a longer sound, like tum T, tum T. This goes tim, ka tim, ka tim, ka tim. But while you're saying tim, in your brain you need to be thinking 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Tim, ka tim, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay. I have a little song that I'd like to sing for you, which is about a dog with 3 legs and one that's shorter than the others. And I'm going to get you to join in with me. You don't have to sing with me, but you can join in with the clapping. Okay, so let me just draw you my dog with his waggy tail. Terrible drawing of a dog. No, we need his legs. Okay. There's his ears, there's the other ear, there's his eyes. I'm not quite sure what's going on with his mouth. And a tongue. There we go. Now, my dog Fred, he had a leg much shorter than the others. As he goes by, you'll hear this sound. Okay, so this one is his short leg. And I want you to imagine he's trotting along. He's quite happy about it all. And he goes 1, 2, 3, and then you have a little, and this one. So you hear these 3 in your head, and it goes. Okay, let's get our timka going. So let's get our feet going first. Ta, 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 ta. And then we're going to get ticka, 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 ticka. Join in with the ticka, tickers. Then we're going to turn the tickers into timkers. Tim, ka, tim, ka, tim, ka. Keep it going. My dog Fred, he had a leg much shorter than the others. As he goes by, you'll hear this sound. Tim, ka tim, ka tim. So in your head, I for me, that's sort of, I like to hear the sort of pat, 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 pat. And so you have that sort of idea of 3 and a 1. Okay, that's maybe just an insight into my slightly bonkers brain, but there we go. So, we've practiced clapping it. You could practice doing 1, 2, 3, 1. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. And then you could go 1, 2, 3. So let's just try that. So let's get our feet going. So 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's quite hard. If you add in the legs as well. Okay, and then we turn it into 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah? Okay, so I was saying 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Or tim, ka, tim. All right, so let's put it on our instruments. So again, you have one of these tricky uneven bow strokes, and often we would maybe do hooked bowing for something like this, but we haven't really got into hook bowing at the moment, and at the moment I want to try and sort of explore being able to cope with unevenness in our bow strokes. So we're going to go, just slow it down, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So I'm finding actually, rather than going whoosh back through the bow, with this sort of pattern, you can come off the string a little bit. Just make it, if that's not too tricky for you at this stage. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So some of the journey of the bow, and then you catch the bow. So some, rather than a big bulge, some of the journey is done off the string, so we get back to the right point. So let's get our feet going. So 1, 2, 3, ta, ta, ta. Ta, ta, tum, ti tum, ti tum, ti tum, ti tum, ti tum, ti 1, 2, 3, and 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 1. Okay, keep the feet. The temptation is to let your feet go a bit wiggly. Do not let it turn into 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. We've got to keep that extra bit. Lots of grown-up orchestras struggle with keeping their these type of dotted rhythms really tight. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1. Okay. So now we're going to put our pulse in our left hand. So choose a string that you like plucking. So one of your top 2 strings probably, because you can then play on your bottom 2 strings. So I'm going to keep my pulse in my A string, and I'm going to play my G string. So I'm going to keep the pulse, so it's ta, 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 ta. That's the semi-quavers. Now I'm going to turn it into dotted. Tum. Try again. Okay, so let's all get our pulse going. 1, 2, 3, and we'll just go straight into the timka. 2, 3, and go. Tim, ka 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 tim. That's fine. Once you get it coordinated, it's fine. So you sort of coordinate the downbeat, the down bow with the pluck, and the upbeat comes just before the pluck. But what I was finding is I was wanting to pluck this bit with my, anyway. You're probably better at this than me, your brain's a lot younger. One more. Are we going to be super brave? Let's put the beat into the string, into a right hand, and we're going to go tim, ka tim, ka tim, ka tim, ka tim. I'm going to do the E string because it's easier. Cellists, if you want to pluck the A string, that's fine. If any of this is way too hard for you, you can still join in. So you can just keep a steady beat in your feet and play the rhythm over the top. You can go just have a go at playing semi-quavers while I'm doing the dotted, and you can hear how they fit in. So whenever we go a little bit further than you're able to do, think about the things we've done before and just do a simpler version. If you're just holding a steady beat, rather than just standing and watching, just keep a steady beat and just listen to what's going on, because you're still developing skills by being able to listen. Also, you can just giggle at what I'm going to try and do. Okay, so we're going to keep the beat in the arm. Oh, what are we doing? Beat in the bow. 1, 2, ta, 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 ta. Add the fingers. 3, 2, 3. Did you manage it? Now what I noticed was I got there, but I locked my knees because I was thinking about it and the whole of my brain was involved. So just always keep that awareness of all the stuff we're working in, all of the warm-ups and everything. Just, you know, it's okay achieving something and being able to do it, but then you need to be able to do it in a relaxed way. And so always take a step back, check your body posture, check everything, that you're not holding your breath and not doing everything. Well done if you managed to do that. That's quite tricky. Okay, so we're going to add in our rhythm package, and then we're going to do some playing with the rhythms that we've been looking at. So I'm not going to do dictation today. I'm just going to write them up here so that you can see them. So we're going to have ta. I'm not going to bother with all of the blobs. Ta, ticka ticka ta, ticka ticka. Crotchet, semi-quaver, crotchet, semi-quaver. And then I'm going to have ta, and then I'm going to put a dotted semi-quaver and crotchet pattern underneath, because this bar here will help us keep this one in. So if I'm playing this one, you can see if you can match your semi-quavers to this. If you're playing this one, try and listen to my semi-quavers and see if you can fit in what you're doing, okay? So this is often when we're in orchestra and I get different parts to play together, it might be that you have parts that fit together like this. And if you understand this theory, you know what you're listening for. So even though we're in lockdown and we're not playing together at the moment, you can still develop those listening skills. So that's what I want you to be sort of listening out for as you're playing. So we're going to have this reversed. So all the way through this rhythm section, we should hear semi-quaver, 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 semi-quaver. And so at each point when you're playing or I'm playing, there will be one of these rhythms that will help you keep that subdivision going in your head. And you know, I can't get inside your head. I don't know whether you're doing it or not, but you do. And trust me, if it's in there, you will play better in time. And these will never be something to worry about when you're doing your sight reading and if they come up in your pieces of music. Okay, so let's put it on our bodies first. I'm going to clap it through 4 times of each one, so we get a 16-bar phrase. Let's think about this. Yeah, we'll go straight into clapping. So I would like you, if you're not feeling confident with the rhythm, just clap it through with me. If you're feeling super confident with the rhythm already, do any different combination of numbers you want to. Start with 4, then move to 2, then move to 3, then move to 1. Do whatever you'd like. And then we're going to have another go through doing some crazy body percussion stuff. Okay, so let's just get, let's see what our beat's like. Yeah, that's pretty good. 1, 2, right, so let's get it going on our feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, steady, off we go. Ta, ticka ticka 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 ta, tum ticka. I added an extra 2 bars there because I think I got distracted by some lovely bird noise outside, and I think I only did 2 in there. So anyway, if you did it right, I did it wrong, apologies, but you get the idea. Okay, So now let's make it a bit more tricky. We're going to put our tars somewhere. Normally I'd ask for suggestions, obviously, but you're just going to have to go with mine. If you don't want to do my suggestions, you can choose things. So the 3 different things we've got tars, we've got crotchets, we've got semi-quavers, and we've got dotted quaver. So semi-quavers, semi-quaver, semi-quaver. But we've got to remember that this is still a semi-quaver. So maybe let's put our tum, tum. So our dotted quaver is going to be in our hands. It's going to be a clap. Our semi-quaver is going to be on our chest. And our tar, I think it's going to be on our tummy. I'm feeling very much in a tummy mood today. Okay, so just for example, the first line would be tar, ticka, ticka, tar, ticka, ticka, tar, ticka, ticka. And then the second line would go tar, tum, ti-tar, tum, ti-tar, tum, ti-tar, tum, ti-tar. Okay, so again, if you're not feeling totally confident, you can run it through with me. I'll try and get 4 lots of each group. If you're feeling super confident, choose a different combination. It might be worth putting 2 against my 1 and then doing 1 against my 2 and then doing 4 against my 3 and then 3 against my 4, so that you get the feeling of clicking in, but it's totally up to you. Okay, I've got to remember what we were doing now. Let's get the feet going. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, steady, off we go. Okay, you'll notice bits of that when I was doing the body percussion. I was concentrating. Again, old brain doesn't deal with this very well. You're probably a lot better at this than me, but it's good to put it on your body and get the frustration and the tension, if you've got any, out there, and work on relaxing into it in your body, and then put it on your instrument. So the frustration sometimes of not being able to get something quite right, especially in a rhythm, so much better to do it away from your instrument. Get it logged in your brain, go to sleep, come back the next day, it will somehow be processed, and then put it on your instrument, and then it's a lot easier. Okay, so if you're struggling with doing these sort of rhythms, and you need time to process it and really work on it individually, that's absolutely fine. You can stop the video at this point, come back to it another day, or make up your own rhythms to go with this, or just play semi-quavers all the way through, or just play tars all the way through. You'll still feel like you're in the ensemble, and your ear's going to be getting used to it, even if you're not actually playing what's up here. Okay, so you're still developing your ensemble skills, so don't just sort of give up if you're feeling like it's too hard. Simplify it. Just do, tars, quavers, whatever. Okay, so first time through, I'm just going to play on a D string. Second time through, I'm going to play using a tonic triad of D major. If you watch the pitch video on D major, that will make sense if it doesn't already. And third time through, we're doing a pentatonic scale, 5 notes, do, re, mi, so, la. So starting on do would be D, E, F sharp, A and B. The reason we're choosing a pentatonic scale is that it all sounds nice together, and so there's no semitones sort of in the mix. Yeah, okay, so let's get some playing going. We're going to run this through 3 times. First time, as I said, I'm going to do the simple version. You do what works for you. Okay, so I am going to keep the metronome on, I think, just for that subdivision. Ticka, ticka. So if you want to keep your feet going to give an extra layer of complexity, you can do. I might drop out with my feet halfway through. We'll see how I go. Can you see it from there? I might drop my body out of shot a little bit so that you can see the rhythms, but I don't really want to sit down because I want to be quite active for this one. Remember, left hand is in a nice loose position if you're not using any fingers. Okay, so 1 ta 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 ta, ticka 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 ticka, off we go. Enough. Maybe I didn't. Might have crashed out the end of that one. I was too busy thinking about my feet. Stamping your feet when you're practicing keeping a beat, whilst it might sort of off-put your tone a little bit, is really, really good for you. But just so that I can concentrate on how many times through we are and what we're doing, I'm going to drop that bit out of my practice because I'm doing it in front of a camera. But if that's something that you want to keep going on, obviously it's something I've got to keep working on as well. Okay, we ready? So I'm going to do 2 tonic triad now. You can keep on an open D, or you can go more complicated. And this is the second time through. We're going to run it through once more after this. Okay, we ready? So 1, 2, 3, 4, ticka 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 ticka, off we go. And then last time through, I'm going to use all the pentatonic notes, yeah, you can use whatever combination you want to, whatever combination of rhythms you want to, 16 bars through, meet you at the end. Remember, keep going with a steady beat or semiquavers or quavers if you want to just join in, get the feeling for how it works, but if this bit is a little bit too complicated at the moment. Okay. 1, 2, 3, we go. Okay, so I was having a bit of a noodle around there. Hopefully what you did, whatever pattern you were choosing, fitted in with that. Hopefully you're getting more practice at keeping the internal ticker, 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 and then hopefully with the sort of the freedom of the improvising that we're doing, you're getting a bit braver at keeping going, playing the notes that just come out. Some of them are going to work, some of them aren't. That's fine. I can't hear you. You're in your room at home, you know, but the main thing this is a rhythm lesson, okay? So fundamentally, we're trying to keep that beat really ingrained, really listening to what I'm doing, to the metronome, feeling it in your body, and hopefully really enjoying that sort of sense of pulse and the sort of funkiness that subdivision gives you, okay? Have fun.